to the Siren Tarot YouTube channel, and I'm here with my first ever pick a card. And what we are going to be doing today is readings and predictions for the month of June. And what I have done here is I will be doing 3 different piles, and with each pile I have a crystal associated with it. So for the first pile I have chocolate calcite, and with the second pile I have rose agate, and with the third pile I have citrine. And now we're going to go through each card, and what I've done differently is I will be shuffling all the cards on camera, and what I did to kind of help you guys pick which pile you want to be a part of is I took one of my oracle decks and I pulled a single card for each pile. So whichever card you feel most drawn to or whatever resonates the most with you is the pile that you should pick. And so I'm going to go through each card just so you can see it and have an understanding of each of these cards. So the first card is bypassing. And what the text says here is, what necessary perspectives or information are you refusing to acknowledge right now? What are you resisting? How have you been dismissed? In what ways have you or your ideas been deemed unworthy of consideration? For the second card, we have validate. To acknowledge, to recognize, to deem worthy, to give importance to something. And for the third card, we have polarization. How have you fallen to extreme attitudes or thinking? How have you failed to consider nuanced and alternative perspectives? How have you been subjected to the inflexibility of others' beliefs? So now that we have kind of gone through each of the 3 cards to pick from, I will give you some time to pick a card, and then we will go right into the readings. Hi, welcome pile 1. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be going through, we're going to be pulling some tarot cards for you, and we're going to be pulling a few other oracle decks for you to kind of see what your messages are for the month of June. Now you guys felt drawn towards the bypassing card, which is a card that is associated that there's a need for shadow work or there will be some kind of release for you in the month of June. But we are going to put this card over here to the side and we're going to shuffle some tarot for you guys. Oh, an extra tarot card came out for you guys. Put this over here to the side, and we're going to pull, so I pulled Queen of Swords, the World, the Sun, upside down 2 of Wands, and 3 of Swords. So the overall feel I'm getting is that there's going to be a lot of success, there's going to be a lot of good times, especially career related. But at the same time, within maybe your personal relationships or with your future planning, things may go awry, things may get tense, things may get pretty stressful. So we are going to pull some oracle cards to help give some clarification into the tarot. Manipulated. I will not be controlled. Strut. Am I carrying myself with love? Paradox. Okay, so this is very interesting. I sense that there's going to be a lot of focus on career. There's going to be a lot of focus on yourself and your future, but at the same time there's probably going to be a lack of focus on your own personal health, to focus on your mental health. And I sense that maybe there's going to be something going on, something strenuous within your relationships, and you're going to kind of like lack or have trouble giving yourself self-love, a sense of patience, in regards to whatever could be occurring, right? Like see this card bypassing, right? Like maybe instead of like you're bypassing yourself, right? Because with this Queen of Swords energy, that's very independent, very just set in your ways, very just chasing after what you want. But at the same time, the Queen of Swords can also be disconnected, disconnected from the people around her, disconnected from herself, right? Because she is very capable of detaching herself from emotions to do what is necessary. At the same time, the cons with this is, like I said, detaching from your emotions, and maybe you are doing this too much, right? But I see that this has been successful, like this works for you, right? Because you have the World and you have the Sun, right? Like you're very career oriented, you're very focused on it, right? And you're having pretty good success right now. Maybe you'll have a promotion, or maybe you'll just pretty much be enjoying all the work, all the hard work that you've been putting in for the past 6 months or so. And it's all just coming to fruition right now, but at the same time, you have this Two of Wands that is reversed, right? And this can maybe mean you achieved a goal, like you achieved a goal within your career, but now you don't know what to do, right? Like you don't know, where do you go from here? What path am I supposed to take, right? And you could feel yourself kind of stuck, right? Because maybe you had this lifelong plan, or maybe you only had this goal to kind of work towards, right? And now you're just kind of lost, or maybe a little bit astray towards the end of June, mid-June, especially with this Three of Swords right here, right? There's going to be some sort of grief. Maybe there's going to be the ending of a relationship or a friendship, or there could even maybe be something turbulent going on within your career as well. Maybe like you achieved what you wanted, but then things didn't necessarily turn out how you expected them to, or maybe it wasn't all that you thought it would be, right? Some very interesting messages. But the relationship sort of feeling I'm getting is, I see this manipulated card came out saying I will not be controlled. So maybe you have a controlling force in your life, or you have a partner or a friend or family member that wants you to kind of follow the path that they want you to, or maybe they want to control your actions. Like, could be a variety of different things, right? But the message here is that in the month of June, you're going to have this choice, or you're going to have these two paths to kind of go down, right? And it's either you can continue this path where you're just going to be solely focused on your goals, and you ignore maybe the problems around you, or you're avoidant about your problems. And then your relationships could be a part of these problems, right? And you'll have a choice saying, am I going to take control back of my life? Am I going to take a look at myself in the mirror and make some needed changes? Or am I going to continue down this path and just let all these obstacles continue to get in my way? Am I going to continue to cycle through this Three of Swords energy? All right, because this card, it's very strong message right here saying, am I carrying myself with love? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you respecting yourself? Are you making decisions that are important to your future, important to your goals, and most importantly, important to yourself and your own happiness? Are you following a path that will make you happy, or will your actions make you happy, right? Ask yourself, am I carrying myself with love? And if you're not, maybe you should take a little step back, look in the mirror, and ask, like, what can I do better, right? Because then you have this paradox card associated just altogether saying, like you could be dealing with extremes right now. Like, maybe, like, 1 second, like, you're very satisfied, you're very happy with your life, right? But then when you go out with friends, and maybe you feel a little disconnected from them, or your family, right? You kind of can get in these depressive moods, or these depressive periods where you're, like, looking, and you're like, wow, have I been missing out? Am I missing out on something? Am I lacking something? You could feel like you're missing, like, this connection in your life. So you can, and the connection is there, it's right in front of you, right? You have people that care about you, you have people that love you, right? but you're so focused on one extreme in your life that you're failing to look at the other half, like you're failing to balance yourself out properly. Overall, like month of June, right, big focus should be maybe the relationships in your life, how you balance your career, right, and maybe a reevaluation of your goals, your future, what, and ask yourself, what do you really want out of life? What will really make you happy, right? And then this affirmation card came out, and it says, my faith has the power to turn trauma into healing, conflict into growth, and fear into love. So a lot of this energy too is about coming out of this fear-based energy and coming more into this energy of love and compassion and happiness, right? Coming from this Queen of Swords energy, right? Where you're restrictive with yourself, you have strict rules for yourself, right? You have these goals and you're going to go after these goals no matter what it takes, right? Even if it sacrifices your own mental health or your relationships around you, right? And you're going to be transitioning from this energy sort of to embracing this energy of the world, the sun, and to get there sort of, I guess, move these cards over here, it's like you need to overcome these obstacles, right, of the reverse Two of Wands and the Three of Swords, right? You need to overcome these emotional, or maybe they're external obstacles to kind of get to this place, right? This place of just ultimate fulfillment and happiness. But yeah, that's about all the messages I have for you guys, Pile 1. Thanks for tuning in and listening. I hope you all have a blessed day. Welcome, Pile 2. Welcome to this video, and I hope this reading will help provide some clarity or insight for the month of June. So you guys picked Pile 2, which is Validate. And I'm going to go into the cards before we get further into this card and what it could potentially mean. Oh, some of these came flying out. Pile 2, June. Cards are just all over the place for this pile. Okay, so let's see what tarot we pulled for you guys. We pulled the King of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Five of Swords. So the overall sort of initial message that I'm getting from here is that this is going to be a very big month with a lot of strong energy, right? You have King of Wands, which is basically like the ultimate embodiment of the journey through the fire icon, or the Suite of Fire, right? You have Suite of Wands. You have the King of Wands, which basically is like embodying the ultimate leader, the ultimate adventurer, right? And just having all the tools necessary to kind of chase after your objective, to chase after your goals, and be this inspiring leader. And also not only that, but also just being a person of wisdom, because a lot of this energy too is intertwined with spirituality, spiritual awakenings, right? And with the second card here, Queen of Pentacles, that talks about having financial independence, financial fulfillment, career fulfillment, right? Like basically like you can pay your bills comfortably, you have a good focus balance between your family and your career life, right? And it's just like a very happy card, a very pleasurable card, and it just signifies like some strong, like getting stuff done, chasing after your goals, and also having strong financial security for the month of June. However, there could be some turbulence within your life towards the end of June. You have Five of Swords, which can indicate walking away from something, right? Like something happens and a change needs to occur in order for you to continue down the journey that you're meant to be on. So we can pull some more cards for that. So we have fearless. I expand my comfort zone, which I think pairs very well with the King of Wands right there. Now we have warble, am I singing my song? Which I think pairs well with the Five of Swords, right? Walking away from something for a reason. Maybe it is a career. I feel like there needs to be one more for this card. There it is. So then we have self-love, and we have the observer. Now a little affirmation for you guys. There needs to be another card. Yep, there it is. Let's put these over to the side for now. Okay, sweet. So kind of piggyback off of the messages that I was getting from here, right? Fearless, I expand my comfort zone. So this definitely connects well with not only the King of Wands, but the Queen of Pentacles, right? And with the King of Wands, it's all about expanding yourself, growing, pushing forwards, right? And you're really going to be pushing your comfort zone. You're going to be pushing your boundaries. And maybe you'll feel a little tired. Maybe you feel a little overworked. Maybe you have a few long days. But you're going to be making progress towards your goals. You're going to be pushing your limits. And in a sense, that is going to be pushing your growth. Like, you're going to be growing so much for the month of June. And you're really going to have this strong sense of fulfillment from all this hard work that you will be doing. Which is pretty awesome to see that come out and connect with that, right? And then we have warble, am I singing my song, right? And you guys picked validate, right? Like, maybe are you validating maybe yourself, or maybe are you validating some of the, like, are you giving yourself enough, basically, right? Are you acknowledging yourself enough? Are you acknowledging the people around you enough, right? With the warble, am I singing my song? That's asking you to take a step back, right? And ask yourself, are you doing what's making you happy? Are you fulfilling yourself? Are you like on a path where you feel like you're just really in tune with yourself? You're really in tune with what you feel like you're meant to do with this lifetime, right? Am I saying this can connect to the Five of Swords, right? Because the Five of Swords is about walking away from something, right? And maybe for some of you, you're going to be like, no, I am not singing my song. I am not happy. And that can maybe result, part of this, chasing after your goals and aspirations energy is maybe leaving a job, or maybe even leaving a relationship, or maybe you need to cut yourself off from a family member or a friend who isn't really serving you well, or is just bringing toxic energy into your life, right? Because underneath, right, we have self-love, right? And self-love is asking you to take care of yourself, right? It's okay to put yourself first sometimes, right? If maybe you're feeling burnt out from working too hard, right? Validate your emotions, right? Validate that you're tired. Validate that you're upset. Validate that you feel hurt, right? Validate your own emotions, and also validate the emotions of your friends, partner, if there's anything lacking there, right? Validate yourself, because that is all part of self-love, and that is extremely important, right? To have that emotional fulfillment, to have that emotional happiness, right? That could be maybe like what you're missing right there. Maybe you need to walk away from whatever it is that's blocking you from loving yourself and taking care of yourself, right? And with the observer, right? This is more of a newer deck, so I could just read from the book for this one. Here we go. So with the observer, we'll flip through this. So we have the observer, which says, The observer indicates a time where you are being encouraged to suspend judgment or conclusions and simply witness. Humans are always trying to sort their external world. We want to process it, make sense of it, and figure out our place within it. It is our way of trying to feel secure and comfortable within our environment. However, this can also reach extremes where we are automatically forming opinions without gathering enough information. The observer asks you to pause and simply pay attention. This may feel passive, but in observing, we are already cultivating change. An unbalanced observer becomes too stagnant. They can see how everything functions, but do not believe that they are able to affect changes as they are only one person. This could be a form of bypassing, as they may not stand up when it is needed. So the message of this observer, right, is that maybe you're being too passive, or maybe, right, like King of Wands is all about taking action, right? Call to action. Look at this. This validate card is a call to action, right? If you have been sort of sitting back the past few months and maybe, yeah, you've been successful, maybe you've been stable, right? But maybe you've become too comfortable in that stability, and the universe is asking you to kind of stand up and take more control of your life, take more action, right? If you're in a situation that you're not happy with, it isn't fulfilling you, right? Like being passive isn't enough to change that, right? You need to take action, right? You need to expand, you need to jump out of your comfort zone, and you need to take action, right? And part of the Queen of Pentacles, right, is that emotional fulfillment, right? Yeah, sure, you could have maybe some financial security, right? But you won't achieve fully this Queen of Pentacles either if you're not happy, if you're not fulfilled, right? This all goes back to, am I singing my song, right? So whatever it is that is blocking you from your fulfillment, the universe is saying walk away from it. It's time to move on. It's time to move on to a different chapter, right? Whatever the situation, person, job, whatever it was, right? It served its purpose. Now it's time to move forward, right? Let's not stay stuck in the past. And thank you for coming to this pick a card. I hope my messages resonate with you, and I hope to see you again in my next videos. Welcome Pile 3, and thank you for coming and watching my video. You are the guys that picked polarization for your card. And before we get into this card, right, I'm going to pull some tarot and some other oracle cards for you, and then connect it all back to this card that you guys felt drawn to picking. Right, so we're going to start with tarot first. Ooh, that jumped out. These are some pretty thick cards, so they can be difficult to shuffle at times, but they're gorgeous. Got Six of Cups right here. Sun and Scorpio. We have the Devil. I'm getting a lot of ex-relationship problems here. Unhealthy relationship problems. Got two cards come out. We have Upside Down, Six of Pentacles, and we have the Lovers. Interesting. See, this month will probably be relationship focused for this group. Pull some oracle. Oh, this card came jumping out. I'm going to pull another one for this group. Oh, this one came out for pile 2. We have Dabble. What would help me feel safe in opening up? Oh, this came out. Ooh, the Warrior. We will pull an affirmation for you guys. Sometimes when I pull cards, I pull one out, but I'll get this kind of little message, or like it doesn't feel right, so then I usually put it back in and reshuffle, and then the right one typically comes out after that. It's pretty weird sometimes. But we have this pulled. Okay, sweet. So Six of Cups speaks to nostalgia, like looking back at the past fondly. It can also indicate maybe having some rose-colored lenses on your past, right? It can signify basically like a past relationship, past lover. Maybe there will be an ex that will come back into your life in the month of June, or a past friend, whatever it is, right? And they're going to want back into your life, and they're going to be like, hey, look at all these good times we had. I miss you. I love you. Let's do this again, right? Because we were happy. We should try this again, right? And whether that happens or not, or if this happens, right, that's up to you, right? But what I'm sensing too is that you have this devil card that shows up, right? And the devil card can indicate maybe this was a toxic relationship. Maybe either one of you was controlling of the other, paranoid, addictive, right? Maybe the partner struggled with addiction, or maybe you, in a sense. But yeah, we have this devil card, which means that this relationship was sort of restricting, right? It felt like it was suffocating you. So that's kind of messed up. So in the past, this was like a very suffocating relationship. And with the upside down six, so normally the Six of Pentacles, right, is all about like giving and receiving, right? The flow of like maybe you need, it comes right after the Five of Pentacles, which is like poverty, right? The Six of Pentacles is learning to get back on your feet. Maybe asking for help or needing help, right? And with the upside down Six of Pentacles, it's going to indicate maybe you're a stubborn person. Maybe you don't like asking for help. Maybe you're a little bit prideful, right? And maybe with whatever the situation is with the devil, whether it is related to this past partner or not, or maybe it's related to even your current financial situation, right? You have, like, you basically need help, but you're being stubborn and you're not really asking for help. And the universe is kind of encouraging you to kind of overcome this stagnant energy, right? And in terms of relationships too, right? This can indicate that in this relationship, maybe you gave too much, it was unbalanced, or you gave too much to this person, you gave too much love to this person, and this person didn't reciprocate back the way that you needed them to, right? And that was part of why the relationship didn't work out, right? And the universe wants you to kind of reflect on this, right? Reflect on this, right? And ask yourself, can this person change? Will this person change? Is this relationship worth another shot? And you can kind of take, like I said, it's up to you at the end of the day, whatever decision you make, right? But there is potential, whether you get back together with this person or not, that you will find that happy relationship, right? And I sense like two paths, right? Either you take this person back, and maybe it does work out. Maybe you guys are officially reunited and everything works out well, and you guys, are the embodiment of the lovers, right? Or it means that you walk away, right? Because there's a lot of like negative energy attached to this connection, right? And you move on and you learn to walk away and let go, right? And in the future, you will encounter somebody that will be more fulfilling to you, that will treat you better, won't have sort of that negative history and energy attached to that connection, right? But either way, that decision is up to you, and I see potential for both paths right here, right? And I guess I can see the polarization here, right? Especially with the devil right here, the relationship was probably very polarizing for you, right? Very extreme, like I hate him, I love him, I don't want to be with him, I want to be with him. And this relationship has kind of created this polarizing way of thinking, especially in terms of romantic relationships. And this can even be talking about friendship or even a family member, right? But this is basically saying that you need to be aware of this polarizing way of thinking, right? Like if this person comes back and you automatically just fall into those little patterns, right? Maybe you need to take a step back and be like, okay, I am being too black and white about this. I need to think about this, and I need to gain another perspective, right? I need an alternate perspective, and that's where you can rely on your friends or trusted loved ones around you, right? Because then we look at these two oracle cards, and the first card that flew out was perplexed. I will figure it out, right? And that could just basically mean like you're confused, right? Do I let this person back into my life? Do I want to try this again? Do I want to potentially go through what I went through in the past again, right? And the universe is saying that you're going to figure it out. You're going to figure out what the best decision is for you, and you're going to be confident in that decision, right? Whatever decision you make, and I think this is the message for those that will choose or want to walk away, right? If you make that decision to walk away, right, you're going to be growing. You're going to be expanding your comfort zone. And yes, it's going to suck, and yes, it will feel uncomfortable, and yes, it may even hurt, right? But it's going to be all for the better, and it's going to be for the best, right? And trust that it will lead to this. It will lead to the lovers, And then for here, the card I pulled here is what would help me feel safe in opening up, right? Maybe the problem in this relationship for those that want to try again is like maybe one of either you or the partner, right, just didn't feel safe opening up in that relationship or connection, right? Maybe you were scared, or maybe for some of you, you could be meeting somebody new, right? Somebody brand new, but the haunts, the past memories of this bad relationship, if you were in one, right? If it was bad and negative, can make you feel scared to open up with this new partner. Either or, lots of different scenarios, but I sense that maybe this group could especially have some Scorpio energy associated with it, is what would help you feel safe in opening up. And then moving on to this next part, we have the Warrior, right? For this, I'm going to go into the book to read it off, because this is a bit of a newer oracle deck in my collection. We have the Warrior. Pulling the Warrior card indicates a need for strong fire energy and internal power. The Warrior is a call to action as opposed to just a state of mind. It asks you to examine not just oppressive people in your life, but also the larger systems within the world, and then get to work. The Warrior is not about complacency and identifying where you need to stand up more. You may make those around you feel uncomfortable and defensive, but you must continue forward. The Warrior can have a cutting message. It is saying, I see what you're doing, but what else can you do? Warriors sacrifices parts of themselves for humanity at large. The balanced warrior fights to create positive change, but may go about it in questionable ways. They are strong and resilient, do not have fear when they go up against oppressors. When the warrior is in balance, they can be very inflammatory and hyper-aggressive. They can push those away that may be of use to them and easily bypass things that are good for them. So just to kind of delve into this, right, the warrior, right? If you associate this with what can help me feel safe in opening up, right? You could be in that kind of negative warrior state where you're inflammatory. Maybe you don't react well to people trying to get to know you well, or maybe you're just very reactionary towards people that try to get you to open up or trying to get you to be vulnerable, and you're defensive. You have this permanent armor on you, and you're not really sure how to take it off, but you keep it on, or you stay in this state because it's what makes you feel safe. But maybe it's time to grow, move on from this energy of the devil, move on from this energy of the Six of Pentacles, where you're in this extreme state where either you give too much or you don't give anything at all, or right, you don't have to live in this black and white world anymore, right? And the universe is urging you to be a warrior, not just like a physical war, but be a warrior within yourself, right? Like fight those inner demons to kind of overcome the past and overcome those negative memories and that negative energy you did experience, right? And also to find the power to stand up to oppressive people, right? If that's an ex-partner or a family member or a friend, right? Like find the passion, find the energy, find the resiliency to stand up to that, right? Stand up to that energy. And with that, you would be growing, you would be expanding your comfort zone, right? And you would be asserting your own boundaries, which I think this is all a pretty powerful message for you guys, pile 3. For the affirmation I pulled for you is, there's a stream of love supporting my dreams. I think is a pretty nice message, a pretty nice reminder that you are loved, even if it doesn't feel like it at times. You are unconditionally loved by the universe. You are unconditionally loved by your guides. And they are there, and they're supporting you every second of every single day. Right? Thank you guys for coming to my pick-a-pile. I hope this was a helpful or insightful reading, and I hope you all have a blessed day.